How often should you have sex? And how to improve your sex life if you're not happy with what you're getting. At times we all wonder whether we are getting enough of it. So are you really making the most of each other? It's the age-old question, how much sex should I be having? Which is more often than not followed by the question, why aren't I having more? We all seem obsessed with knowing if we're doing it enough, a kind of sexual keeping up with the Joneses. But is there really a normal amount you should be having sex, and should you be worried about how much you are or aren't doing it? A figure often mentioned as an average is 2.5 times a week, but according to a survey released last year, the average Brit has sex less than 3 times a month. Despite this seeming libido lag among us, more than 2/3 of the 1,000 people surveyed by OnePoll for ITV1s this morning said they were happy with their sex life. But of the 35% who weren't satisfied, a massive 84% said it was the lack of sex, rather than the lack of quality, that was leaving them wanting in the bedroom. More than 70% of women said they were happy with their sex lives, while 58% of men claimed to be satisfied. That is less than women, but still more than half of those surveyed. So we must be doing something right. It may surprise you to learn that it was the over 55 age group who were the happiest with their sex lives, with more than 70% of those age 55 plus saying they were satisfied. Almost half of those surveyed thought they should be having more sex each week, with tiredness and children the main culprits stopping people. Interestingly, only 40% of women wanted more sex, but almost 60% of men were left wanting more. A 40-year study published by the Society for Personality and Social Psychology in 2015 found that couples who had sex once a week were happiest, which came as a surprise to many. Lead researcher Amy Muse said, "Our findings suggest that it's important to maintain an intimate connection with your partner, but you don't need to have sex every day as long as you're maintaining that connection." But Muse added that regardless of the frequency of sex, it's important that partners should discuss whether their sexual needs are being met, saying, "It's important to maintain an intimate connection with your partner without putting too much pressure on engaging in sex as frequently as possible." So it's good to remember that there is no such thing as normal, and that many stereotypes of a healthy sex life are just unrealistic, especially in today's hectic world. So perhaps we should all just learn to be content with what we can get, so to speak. But if you and your partner feel that you are not making the most of each other, try these ways to make your love life more fulfilling. How can I improve my sex life? Take time to have sex. This may sound blindingly obvious, but many couples, especially those with children, can get so wrapped up in the day-to-day issues of life that they forget to take time out for each other. So make a date night for yourself, when you can forget about the dirty dishes in the sink and the pile of clothes in the corner and focus on each other. Maybe take a bath together or share a glass of something nice to get in the mood. Talk to each other. Or if you really are pushed for time, skip the talking and just head straight for the sack. Try having sex to get yourselves in the mood for sex. Ian Kerner, a sex therapist and author of She Comes First, The Thinking Man's Guide to Pleasuring a Woman, points out in the Huffington Post that sex is not always spontaneous, and sometimes you have to kickstart your life in the bedroom before you're in the mood. He said, "I tell couples that for many people, sexual desire doesn't emerge at the start of sex, but more toward the middle. You need to commit to generating some kind of arousal through kissing, making out, dancing, reading erotica, or watching porn that may lead to desire. Be willing to generate arousal and see where it goes. Make each other feel wanted. After years of relationships, often we can take each other for granted, off in and out of the bedroom. So take a moment to think about how the other person feels. To be fair, if you have been in a relationship for many years, there are probably times when you really don't want the other person. We all get that. But try to remember the person you fell for in the first place. Tell them something nice, give them a kiss, hold their hand, or surprise them with a small gift, anything to make them feel loved. Stop worrying about how often other couples are having sex. Everyone is different, and we all have peaks and troughs in our love lives. Although it might be frustrating to lie in bed with a book listening to your neighbors try and dismantle your party wall with their bedhead, just remember they will probably have a dry spell soon as well. Just worry about your own patterns.